What's up, Infected, and welcome to Kickstart Your Week. This is a catch-up video from last week. Anybody that maybe watched that knew that I didn't put out a video because it was my birthday and I had a bunch of things going on and blah blah blah. However, today is actually my anniversary as well. So I'm going to be catching up with a 20 Kickstarter list, but my wife is here and she is going to go over 8 games, is what you chose, right?
Yeah, I think that's...
She chose 8 games on Kickstarter that she liked. Now, she's not as much of a board gamer as I am. She's played every one of the games back here, but some of it's like pulling teeth. So, her tastes are going to be much different than mine. Again, I was able to find 20. I think 19 actually, but she was only able to find 8. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go over 2 games. She's gonna go over 1, and we're gonna go back and forth. But if you don't know how Kickstart Your Week works, this is a quick rundown of Kickstarters that we see on Kickstarter that we liked. And me anyways, if the thumbnail looks cool, I'll click on it, kind of skim the description. If it still looks really cool, I'll kind of try to get an idea of how it is played and kind of what kind of game it is, and then I'll add it to the list. Other than that, that's kind of where it ends. I don't delve a whole lot into it. I just ones that catch my eye and look cool. Now, normally I try to cover no more than 10 because there's only so many hours in the day, and there's millions of Kickstarters. Well, that's a little exaggeration. There's a lot of Kickstarter games that come out, and I cannot cover them all. So I only cover up to 10 per week that catch my eye. But this is a catch-up video, so this is going to be up to 20. Alright, before we get started, I probably should mention we've looked at each other's list, and so most of mine, she's not going to have any idea what they are, because they're not games that interest her. And same thing with hers, most of her games not going to interest me. So anyways, we'll just dive straight into this, and my first one is Gods of Tinhara. This one is a card drafting, it's got card drafting in it where you're making a collective deck. So we're all drafting cards, and I guess you're only drafting so many, and you wind up making a collective deck that everybody pulls from throughout the game. And I thought that was a really cool concept, and it also has very nice artwork. Next up is Murder at Blood Mansion. This one's a card game version of Clue. However, unlike Clue, you actually might be the killer, and it looks like it might be a little family way game that like my dad would like and Angelique would like. I
think I actually looked at that one. I don't know why I didn't put it down, but
the artwork is kind of goofy looking. It looks like I want to say Invader Zim, but it's not Invader Zim. But it looks like a Nickelodeon cartoon style artwork meets like Clue, where somebody is also the murderer and you're trying to get away. And I thought that was an awesome concept because I like Clue. Clue is my favorite standard game, I guess you can call it.
Now, I chose Materia. Card game. Everybody loves card games. I like card games.
You would like card games.
Of course. It's pretty much sit back down, easy, lax game. Said it was similar to Rummy, so it seems like something a little bit of everybody can get into.
I mean, Rummy's is actually really fun. We usually play it at work, so I mean.
See, there you go. You like card game.
All right, I didn't even know how to respond to that. And my next one was Robotry 101, I think is how it's pronounced. It's an anime mecha building game where you're trying to impress your anime judge professors. Not sure if the professors are like hidden, similar to like Argent the Consortium, where throughout the game you're slowly discovering what they want and you kind of have to figure it out on the fly, which is a cool concept, by the way, anybody making games. But I don't know if it's similar to that, but I just thought it kind of looked neat. You have a big card in the middle, which is your chest, and then you're building upper arm, lower arm, hand, upper leg, lower leg, feet, your head, and you're just trying to make these awesome mechs. And there's no fighting that I know of, but I thought that was a really cool concept. Next up is Pepper and Carrot. This reminds me of the Altair video games for some reason. You're a witch trying to craft these potions, and got these weird tiles, and I guess throughout the course of the game, you're getting these tiles, and you're placing them in certain orders depending on, I guess, where you get them from, and you're trying to make the best potions for the judge at, like, some contest. I'm not really sure about all that, but it looked neat. You're trying to get them in the correct order, and the artwork is really cute. You and Angelique would love that.
I might not have seen that one.
Yeah, it's yeah, that's fair.
Another one I chose was Get Me a Fresh Brain. It actually is kind of similar to the Robotery 101. Pretty much you're going through and trying to build a monster, and then you're going to go out in the town and try to destroy things. That's what I picked up from the
I didn't even see that one. That actually sounds neat. Well, and as some of you guys may or may not know, which I may not have mentioned, all of these links will be down in the description, straight to those Kickstarters. So I might actually have to check this one out. That one sounds neat.
It looks like it's really fun. You can get the parts from like different places. So there's different ways to obtain the body parts that you need to make the monster.
There better be an Abby normal brain, because if not, I'll be very disappointed.
I don't think it had the cards listed, but that would be nice. I hope they do.
Now, next up is one that we actually both had. This is Trash Panda. Now, I don't know what you got from it, but I got that we're all playing as trash pandas, raccoons, and real life raccoons. I hate those things because they sling trash all over the driveway. But these raccoons, you're trying to tip over trash cans and steal trash. And it's a little bit of push your luck aspect to it, but you can also use this trash that you're using to score points to also instead basically lose some of your points to play the card for its ability instead. And I like when games do that, where you have to spend your points to do something. And because that way it makes it a more meaningful decision. What did you have to say?
I just like because I thought it was cute. And trash pandas. Trash pandas are adorable.
Yeah, until they sling garbage all over your driveway.
But they're precious. And they're fluffy. And they've got really fluffy tails.
Right.
And I like them.
Next up is Night Clan. Now, the artwork in Night Clan, in my opinion, it is an anime art style, but it's really beautiful. It almost reminds me of Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark artwork mixed with anime. Is kind of the vibe I got from it. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, it's probable. But it's a deception game where I guess you've made a deal with a monster or something, and you're trying to hide your riches and your daughters from them, and he's, I guess, trying to kill them or take them away or something like that. And you're trying to outsmart your opponent, so your opponent's daughters and treasure gets taken away and not yours. And it just looked really neat, and the biggest thing that caught my eye was that anime artwork. Next up is Habitats. Habitats is a tile laying game where you're trying to, I guess, get your animals to have the proper surroundings and the proper habitat while also having those animals that are helping, because each tile is an animal and a habitat on it. So if I have this giraffe on a grassland and it needs 2 forests, then the 2 forest tiles also have animals. And then maybe this animal needs a lake. And this one needs grassland. So, okay, this one's already near grassland because of the giraffe, but then this one needs water. So you put water, but then that also needs an ecosystem. And so it just seemed like a really neat, like, strategy tile laying game. I don't know if you saw that one. I actually thought it might be one that you would like, but it might be a little brain burnery for you.
Probably so, because we all know that I don't like to think. I'm sorry. I do enough thinking. Another one I chose was Mad Science. Pretty much dice game. Press your luck. Just keep rolling and hope you don't get the wrong combination. Because dice, I'm very easy to
she's
persuade off of.
She's very easy to please. It's why we've been married so long.
Ooh, shiny. There you go.
I actually saw Mad Science. Didn't make it on my list because it looked very hit or miss. Like it could be really fun, but it also looked like, and I had to kind of cut some off. And then in hindsight, I did only do 19, so I could have added it, but I didn't.
It's dice.
It is dice, but
it's dice.
What are you gonna do?
And our daughter would absolutely love to throw around dice more often.
That's
you
fair.
know this.
All right, next up is Spooker. I'm not really sure.
Pretty sure it's Spooker.
It's Spookre. So, however that's supposed to be pronounced. But full disclaimer, I'm actually reviewing this one, as you see right here. This is a trick-taking game where you all are you all own a mansion, and it's like 17th century hauntings, and they're making you money. So you're trying to attract new ghosts to your house by using the ghosts that are already in your house. And it's got this like Price is Right thing with it, because you played this one with me the other night, right? No, you didn't.
No, I didn't. I wasn't able to.
Yeah, you were busy. But so you're trying to get as close to the strength of the ghost that you're trying to persuade as you can without going over. Cue Price is Right. But then if everybody's over, then it's just the strongest ghost. But then you mix that with these special abilities that only trigger if certain symbols match, and it winds up being a very light, simple little game to learn, but it has a surprisingly decent amount of strategy. But there is, luck, because you are playing with cards. Because you could have just really crappy cards in your hand. But
You have crappy cards.
I'm beginning to ramble, and it's becoming more of a review. Be on the lookout for a review for Spooker. I'm not really sure. I'll get clarification before the review comes out. Next, we have Grimoire Quest. This one is a narrative wizard battle card game that she's going to hate because it seems to be like storytelling. I'm not really sure how it works overall. The people in it look like it's literally just a card battling game with these narrative things that come out, and then now you have to start doing different things with a little bit of role playing and card fighting. But the thing about that is, people like my wife, she doesn't role play. She's got the imagination of a sponge, and so
I swear when I gave birth, it just all went with her.
So people like that aren't gonna like the game. But other than that, I couldn't really figure a whole lot out from the Kickstarter. But there you go.
Next one I got was Fling Go. It's a party game. I know you hate party games.
I don't hate party games.
Well,
you're
just not a
really
fan of them.
Well, not even that. You just really like them. I think they're okay at times.
You're mean.
This is staying in.
Okay. You're so mean. I hate you sometimes. It's got the card against humanity feel.
Of course it does.
So, but instead of like doing like different scenarios and stuff like that, I guess.
You like the different white cards or different black cards?
Or yeah, it's like you got a word, and then it's some off the wall word, and people have to use different cards to have like a definition of something. They pair that to the word.
So kind of like Joking Hazard meets Cards Against Humanity, kind of.
Kind of, but it's more like vocabulary.
Oh, so I'll be terrible at it. Got it. Okay, got it.
Not your cup of tea.
Next up is Ancient Aliens. Now, I'm not saying it's aliens, but it might be aliens. This one looks like a really cool game. Where the players, if you don't know what the whole Ancient Aliens theory thing is where humanity started, and we were back in, hitting rocks with other sharper rocks, and that's what we were doing. And then aliens came and kind of seeded civilization. So like the ancient Egyptians were actually aliens, and they taught us how to build the pyramids and blah, blah, blah. And that's what this game is. You all are different aliens, and you're seeding your culture in primitive Earth life and trying to get it to develop the way that suits you best. And you're trying to do that around the world. And I thought that was a really cool concept, because even though I think the ancient alien theory is completely insane, I still think it's really interesting.
The next game that I picked, if you can't tell, I like cats.
Welcome to my personal hell.
A game called Action Cats. One thing that I'm not a big fan, it is a storytelling.
Oh, so you'll be bad at it.
So I'm gonna be bad at it, but
it's cats.
Cats. And they're precious and they're sweet. Another thing is, if you back it, they do actually have this thing where you can send in a picture of your cat, and it could be chosen to actually be on the cards. So you'd be telling a story about your kitty cat.
Even the cats ran away. Next up is Who Goes There. Now, I love the movie The Thing with Kurt Russell. One of my favorite movies. The game is cheesy and it's awesome, and it's just Kurt Russell. And this is the book, a game based on the book that inspired The Thing, essentially. So it basically is The Thing, aka basically Dark Moon, that I have up there on the shelf. Which you've played Dark Moon, right? That's Battlestar Galactica Light.
I don't remember, honestly.
That's fair. But it's inspired by the books, and as the temperature rises throughout the game, an infection is released, which infects somebody, and that person is trying to either escape or kill somebody. I'm not really sure. And I love Hidden Trader games, and the game looks cool. And then on top of that, maybe they'll put a Kurt Russell card that you could play as, because... Alright, next up is Beast of Balance. Now, we both chose this one. And normally I'm actually not a big fan of dexterity games. Like, I have, Disc Duelers up there. And we play it every once in a while. They just tend to make a mess and be loud, and I'd rather usually not play them. But this one actually looks really cool.
I like the fact that it interacts with an app on the phone, and it actually shows pretty cool stuff happening. I forgot how words work for a second.
Words are pretty hard.
You know this.
Right. So the way it works is think like Jenga meets Pokemon is kind of what they're advertising it as, and it looks like that. So you're going to have your mobile device, and it's going to be near this like station that what you're going to be teetering things on, and then you pick a thing that you want to stack on it. And there's probably more to it than this, but you wave it in front of the device so it knows what it is. It registers it on your phone, and then or your device or whatever, and then you stack it on top of the device where it doesn't fall. And then once it registers that, it changes something on the app and it interacts with that, and then you can fight people. Weirdo. It looked really cool, and she chose it as well, so we actually found a game we agreed on.
Yay! We agreed on something.
Next up is Cthulhu Rise of the Cults. Now, I didn't get a whole lot from the Kickstarter about how this game plays, but man, does it look cool. From the pictures and the little bit that I was able to get from the Kickstarter, it almost looks like Kingsport Festival meets like, Chaos in the Old World. But again, I'm not really sure. It's kind of a more in-depth version. I'm not really sure. But it looks cool. The minis look neat. And it's got a very busy looking board. Next up is Bushudo Breaker. Now, I got a chance to review this one, but I actually had to turn it down because there's a print and play copy, and I don't have time for print and play copies, unfortunately, a lot of the time, because I already have too many things to review now, let alone the time and effort and money and everything that goes into a print and play. But it's a game about samurais and ninjas fighting, where the samurai is trying to protect the shogun and the ninja are trying to kill the shogun. And the artwork is really simplistic and really nice. And it's got like it's a two-player game. It's deduction with like hidden movement, and the samurai are trying to stop the ninja. And it looked really cool, and I wish I would have had time to be able to review that print and play. Next up is Overworld, and this is a 16-bit exploration tile placement area control game. Where the players are trying to find these dungeons, and then the dungeons are like all the tiles snap together, but they can only snap together in so many ways. So you're going to have inevitably these areas that can't have it; nothing will fit into it. So those are the dungeons, and you're trying to find those by exploring the map. And I thought that was kind of neat, but I don't know how much that novelty will actually. How much that novelty will actually take the game.
Was it similar to like how Zaya does with like, or not?
Not Zaya.
No, not Zaya.
Carcassonne. The game she's talking about is Eclipse. But no, I don't think it's like Eclipse, because the areas that a tile can't go to is actually a very specific thing. It is a dungeon. That's the only game I think you're talking about. Other than that, like maybe Infinite Dungeon, but that's not really the same. But who knows?
It could have been just something that my brain concocted.
That's fair. That's probable.
Okay, last game that I have on my list, and we've actually both got this one together. The Star Realms Frontiers.
Star Realms. I mean, if you haven't played Star Realms, if you like deck builders, it's Magic the Gathering meets a deck builder. You're directly trying to kill each other. Like a game of Magic the Gathering, but it's a deck builder, and it's space themed, and I love space.
I'm pretty sure this is the first deck builder that I ever played.
I'm pretty sure it is the first deck builder you ever played.
I loved it so much. So I've always been open to try playing a deck builder.
It's the one game I could usually always get her to play, but because of Star Realms is how she found out that she loves deck builders. Like, she likes Tanto Core, and I can't think, brain's drawn a blank, but almost every deck builder I have up here, Imminent Domain, pretty much all of them, she really likes it. Yeah, she likes them all purely because of Star Realms. So if you want a game that doesn't take a ton of time to set up and tear down, and you like deck builders, Star Realms is definitely it. If you haven't played it already, I definitely recommend giving it a shot. Just note, the company isn't the best in the world, and they don't like to print their card colors consistent, so you're going to probably have to sleeve your game. Next up is Founders of Gloom Haven. Now, I shouldn't really have to say much about this. I know you don't know a lot about Gloom Haven, but it's the same developers of Gloom Haven. Well, I kickstarted the new version of Gloom Haven, so you will find out what Gloom Haven is. It's basically think Kingdom Death, but instead more D&D style. It runs itself, and it's not, from what I understand, it doesn't have to be role played. It DMs itself, stuff like that.
Okay, if there's no role playing, then we're good.
But either way, Founders of Gloom Haven, you are building the city of Gloom Haven. It takes place, I guess, 100 years before the games take place. So you're founding that city. So the first part of the game, you're slowly building up the city, and it trickles. It's a very slow game. And then towards the end, it speeds up, and it's breakneck speeds. And then if you build a road, you're weird. If you build a road, I can take advantage of that road. If you build something that produces like iron, and I need iron, I can attach a road to that and take advantage of your hard work for me. But but you built it because you needed, stone or whatever you're producing. And I love concepts like that where, I have to think twice about what I build because you are also going to be able to use it. And I have to spend my hard work and my resources to do it just so you can access it for free. And I love concepts like that. And Founders of Gloom Haven seems to, fit that style, I guess, or that theme. But either way, it looks outstanding. Next up is Ever After. Now, first and foremost, the artwork in this kind of reminds me of American McGee's Alice. I don't think you've ever seen American McGee's Alice, right?
I tried to play it, and then something happened, and I stopped playing it.
All right, but the artwork is basically like a dark fantasy. It's your normal fairy tales, but kind of dark and creepy. And you're trying to find out who your friends are and who your enemies are, and it's essential to find out who's who, because if you don't and they betray you at a vital moment, they wind up taking points from you, and that's really all I know about the game. It looks kind of like Area Control or maybe Adventure-y, I'm not really sure, but the artwork looks really, really nice. Honestly, I'd almost back this for the artwork alone. And the last game on my list, because you have nothing else in yours, right?
Yes, I'm all clear.
Mine is Defense of the Citadel. Now, this is a tower defense game, and I'm a sucker for tower defense games on computers. Wow, I sounded like an old man there. On the computer machine. But I like tower defense games. Man. Listen, lady, I don't need your crap.
Just saying.
But anyways, you're trying to defend your citadel, and you're building onto the citadel, and I guess changing how the layout is. So I guess enemies have to funnel in certain ways, and so that way you can try to defend your citadel a little better. So I'm not sure about all the details, but the game has beautiful minis and a really cool class creation system. So you're going to choose two different classes, and nobody's tied to one class. So you're going to choose like this ability, and that's how you make your class. And everybody gets to do that. I just thought that was really, really cool. All right, and that is this week and last week's Kickstart Your Week. All of these games you'll see down in, I'll have a link down in the description. That way if any of them look interesting, it'll take you directly over to that Kickstarter. So that means this is going to be a novel, because it's like 25 games down there, but that's fine. But if you like any of these kind of sounded interesting, check out that Kickstarter page and maybe consider backing them.
Kitty cats. Kitty cat.
And my wife's a bit on the camera shy side. This was actually her idea, though, but that's why I did most of the talking.
I wanted to make things a little bit easier for you. I think I'm making them harder.
A little bit. With her, she's the crazy cat lady.
I tried.
But she wanted to do something with the YouTube channel, and today's our 12-year anniversary. We figured we'd do something special, so mwah. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time in the quarantine.
Quarantine.
You're a weirdo.
I love you.